Good morning, everyone. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us today on this beautiful, beautiful September day. I would first like to begin today's event in a good way, and I'd like to respectfully acknowledge that we are currently located on land which has long served as a site of meeting and exchange among the Mississauga peoples, and is a traditional and a treaty territory of the Mississaugas, the Scugog Island First Nation, and all the territories covered under the Williams Treaties. Durham is home to many First Nation, Inuit, and Métis peoples, and we are grateful for the ongoing stewardship of the land on which we live and operate. I am very mindful of my role in centering Indigenous ways and culture. I'm also intentional in my work and efforts towards reconciliation. I encourage everyone, if you haven't done so, to think of your own personal responsibility towards understanding the truth of Canada's history and the relationship with Indigenous peoples and the actions personal to you that you would take towards reconciliation to create meaningful and respectful relationship with Indigenous communities. At the region, we have been embedding and being very intentional in embedding truth and reconciliation in our decisions, in our actions, our policies, and programs. We're working very closely and collaboratively and consulting with Indigenous communities. We're taking careful consideration to collaborate and ensure cultural safety. So education and awareness are both very significant to this journey forward. We would encourage you to visit durham.ca/reconciliation for information and resources, event information, all around National Day for Truth and Reconciliation and Orange Shirt Day, both on September 30th. If you can share the link with your colleagues and community members and families, we greatly appreciate it. I'd also want to put in a plug and encourage you to join us on September 24th, where we'll have the official launch of the completed Orange Crosswalk, so it'll be great to see you there. And now I'd like to turn it over to our CEO, Lane Baxter here, to bring greetings.
Thank you very much, Alison, and I do want to thank Alison and her team for the incredible work that they are doing in leading us down this path to reconciliation. As Alison said, I'm Elaine Baxter Trahair, the Durham Chief Administrative Officer, and I am very pleased to be here today as part of this important ceremony. As I mentioned, the region of Durham is on a path towards reconciliation, and we have been listening to and learning from Indigenous communities on our journey. I am immensely grateful to Chief LaRocca and many other Indigenous community members and organizations for their advice and guidance to ensure that we are appropriately memorializing and honoring the children taken, families left behind, and survivors of Canada's residential school system. When we embrace reconciliation in our hearts, minds, and actions, we can help create spaces for healing and understanding. We have a long way to go, and this new crosswalk is another step forward in this path. Our intention is to make Durham Region more inclusive for everyone by focusing on turning words into actions. Installing a commemorative orange crosswalk and accompanying plaque here at regional headquarters will be a permanent reminder to reflect, to participate in reconciliation, and to commit to learning about Indigenous ways of knowing, being, and doing. These lands that now make up Durham Region must be enjoyed, respected, and honoured. By doing so, we'll continue building a healthy, inclusive community where everyone feels a sense of belonging, where our past informs our future, where we acknowledge our mistakes and keep challenging ourselves to do better. Thank you to everyone for joining us here today. I will now pass it over to Troy White, who will lead us in blessing of these grounds. Thank you very much. Over to you, Troy.
Mino Gajeb, good morning everyone. I don't know if I need this microphone. I'm kind of a loud talker as it is, eh? Actually, I do have a little bit of hearing problems, which I don't, I know we don't always understand. Sometimes people have challenges in life and you don't realize that. And so I talk loud, and my partner always said, Troy, you talk so loud. And my mom, and So this is a family thing. We have a little bit of hearing impairment, so sometimes I don't need these mics, eh? But I'm going to introduce myself first, and Gwe, imset no gama, and dalwisi gaming baptism, and don't gawich, al noon, delayway, octa unko gurumagi, and wiggy whippy. So my name is Troy. I'm from Mi'kmaq territory. That's that way over there, and I live in Whitby. It's a beautiful town, actually, and I've lived in Durham region much of my life. I have lived down home, which Unamagi or Mi'kmaq territory is down on the east coast, the Atlantic provinces. And I'm Crow Clan, so I'm good at chirping, eh? Ah, ah. So that's probably why you always see me at all these events. I get to see beautiful people like John Henry and all these other people. They're around all the time, eh? And get to see y'all, and I get to see some faces I see regularly. And this, I guess, that's my crow skills. We call it Bird Clan. And I'm going to do opening 2 rounds of a song to open us up in a good way. And then I'm going to give a couple, I don't want to say officially teachings, but teachings are just a way of saying lessons or ways of knowing or understanding. It's not, some people think that you're going to pull out a big encyclopedia and slap it down. You got to know all this stuff to do. It's just ways of knowing, eh? So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So I'm going to sing a song, and it talks about, it's going to talk about us as resiliency, us as Indigenous people, and all those people within the medicine circle, those 4 colors of people. We all have resilience within our nations. And so I'm going to sing a song to open. I'll just do 2 pickups and save your ears a little bit, eh? So. I didn't make it. Songs come to us, right? In dreams or visions, and it comes to us. And so this song, I had the song going in my head, and I had some teachings given to me from one of my teachers years ago, number of years ago, and they said maybe we're at a group of men learning how to be kind, how to be good, learning our teachings. And we talk about this where we had lost our teachings, and we're kind of exiled, kind of way out at the Rockies maybe. And we were out in the mountains, and we had lost our way. And until we find that way, then we'll come back, and we'll be standing here strong. So that song talks about it. It says, from the mountains we came, and here we stand strong. So we're back in resiliency. We're standing strong with our ways, our teachings, and with our ancestry. And being able to be proud and acknowledging this, because, I actually was at an event a week or 2 ago. I was doing some storytelling, and there's a local who was just walking by, and he said, "Oh, you know, this happened with Indigenous people didn't mark their graves. That's why you found these in the schoolyard." I'm like, dude, no baby, no child should ever be found in the schoolyard. Doesn't matter what color they are. If they're purple with pink polka dots, doesn't matter. It's not about color. It's not about creed. It's not about identity. It's about, that's a child. They should never be found that way. But we didn't talk for many years because of this residential school. So a lot of people didn't bring these things out. They didn't talk about culture because it was persecution. So if you could blend in, you blended in. And that's, so I'm talking today, and with the drum, we have the wood, and they say that it's from the tree. It symbolizes truth. And the hide is from the deer, and we say that's a gentlest animal. So we say that it symbolizes gentleness. So we have to be truthful, but we have to try to be as gentle as possible, telling that truth. Because there is no reconciliation without truth. And that's the facts, right? And it doesn't matter, again, what color from the medicine wheel, because we all have histories. And we have like histories between us and the African nations, right? We have likeness between us and other nations that around the world. We're all similar, we're all connected. And that's when I open up, I say, Kwe, Imsitnagama, Kwe, all my relations. Hello, all my relations. We're all related, we're all brothers and sisters, we're all cousins. So, and I'm just going to talk, sorry, I'm going to put my drum down for a second. So I'm just going to talk about this medicine, and I had lit before, and I had a couple young people over here talking, say, "Oh, I love the smell of that sweetgrass. It smells so good." Yeah, it smells good. G-O-O-D, good. So, this sweetgrass actually is made, and what they do is they take, this one's a nice long one. It's probably from Walpole Island because they grow the nice long stuff over there. And they take a blade of grass, and one blade of grass, it's like our hands, right? So it's lighter on one side and darker on another. We have a shiny side. That's that shiny side. We want to show everybody. We want to show the world, hey, look at that Troy. He's funny. He's 7'4". He's real skinny and all that kind of stuff. I want to show all that. But there's also those other sides that we have too. Sometimes we might get upset. Maybe we're driving our car and a little bit of anger jumps out. We have a little bit of road rage, and sometimes it's actually connected to our survival instinct. Or somebody does something to our child or our grandchildren, we might step up. So that anger sometimes actually is needed. Sometimes those other parts of ourselves on that other side, that instead of a shiny side, there's a darker, rougher side. And we all have that as well. We have to honor that. So we take that blade of grass, and if we took one blade, it's easy to break, right? Of course. But what we do is we take 7 blades of grass and we put it in a little bundle. And then we take another 7 blades and we'll put it in a second bundle, and we'll do it again in a third. So each of the bundles, one can represent the past, one is present, one is future. One is, we also say in Mi'kmaq, we say Gazok. Our languages are verb-based, so they're not dead, they're living. So Gazok, or creator, means you have been created, you are being created, and you will be created. There is no gender, there is no he, she. It's not an old dude sitting in the clouds with those big cane in our ideas. It's that idea of past, present, future, and everything is creator and everything is creation. And so that, again, we are all connected. So we talk about that past, present, future, and also body, mind, and spirit. And it's all interwoven together. So you can't really decipher exactly which group is which. So it is interwoven. And together it's strong. So it's like us as people, as community members. As those members of the medicine wheel, because as Indigenous people, we can't do things alone. Our friends in the Black community, they can't do things alone. Our friends in the Asian community, they can't do things alone. And our friends from the white section of the medicine circle, they can't do things alone either. Everybody has to work together. We're all here, and that's what we talk about when we're saying under the eyes of Creator, we have to do this. So they call this the kindness medicine. We talk about that. So I was trying to light it, and it goes out pretty fast, eh? But that's the kindness. It doesn't burn. It's not like when you see sage and some people are walking by with sage and it's just blooming, eh? So it's also harder to burn. So they call it the kindness medicine. So I'm going to try to light it, and I'll smudge around the area a bit if I can keep it lit. And that's basically, so we're going to do that. And also, I understand instead of feathers, it's moccasins, and that's the the beauty in that is our paths. We can all walk along the same path together. We can all also like in those ways. And I don't know what their intention were when they put in that moccasins, but that talks about that. Our journeys. We can journey together. We can journey forward. We don't have to stay in the past. We can journey forward, right? So there's a lot of meaning that can be there. But this is a beautiful day today, and it's excellent to see everybody out. I'm just going to smudge the area, and then I'll turn it over to the bosses because I'm just here, right? So, Chi Miigwech, everyone, Walalia. So Chi Miigwech means thank you, a big thank you. So Chi Miigwech. And I'll just leave you with this. And if you ever, I know prayer's taboo sometimes. We don't want to talk about things, and especially institutions. And I work for 2 institutions, but we say prayer and attention, but they say the best, biggest prayer we can ever say is Miigwech, or thank you. So Miigwech.
As you see, when I smudge too, I smudge my feet, so I walk in a good way. So this is why this really speaks to me. Because one of my teachers does that, and I always learn from him. After we smudge, you see everybody smudge. We say we smudge our mouth, so we speak through the goodness of our heart. Our nose, so we sense through the goodness of our heart. Our eyes, so we see. Sometimes my East Coast accent comes out. And eyes, so we see through the goodness of our heart. And our ears, so we hear through the goodness of our heart. Over our head, so we have good thoughts coming through our heart. Over our hearts, so we have those beautiful feelings. And then we can smudge everywhere else if we want. And one of my teachers always smudged his feet, and I asked him years ago, and I started doing it, so I walk in a good way. And I thought that's a really touching way to look at life, right? So you're walking and you're doing wherever you go that day, you're doing good things, right? So I'm gonna I don't know if it's gonna stay late. I'll go around, and if anybody would like to smudge, I'll offer it. But I know there's probably some other people talking or something going on. Those days, eh? Okay, I'm going to start around then. I don't know if anybody needs it.
Everybody can use a smudge.
I'll use a microphone because I'm shy. So just in conclusion, so we all smudged, we smudged the area and we sang that song and we gathered with good intention and good in kindness. And that's what we're doing actually by acknowledging. I've seen the rainbow flags coming in here and we're acknowledging the LGBTQ2S, Q2S, sorry. Tripping on my words this morning. We're acknowledging the Two-Spirit community by having those flags there. And that's in kindness to support those members of our community that may need that support. And this is what this crosswalk is as well, to support those members that, to acknowledge. And it's not to separate, but to bring together. So, and we're doing this in kindness. So that's why I actually brought this medicine today. I know it doesn't plume as much as the other one, but I wanted to bring it for kindness. So, again, Shimigwech for everyone. Well, Ali, thank you very much.
Troy, and thank you so much just for responding to our call. I will share with you that we were originally working with the cultural coordinator from the Mississaugas School Island First Nation, and we got a memo yesterday that his partner had gone into labor with twins, and so it was okay. It was a problem, but it was okay. We can make this work. So Chimigwe, Troy, because you always come through for us. So thank you, and Chimigwe to everyone for being here with us and just helping us start the work that we're doing towards reconciliation in a really good way. Connecting our hearts to why we're doing this. As Troy mentioned, we cannot do reconciliation without understanding the truth, and so this is the visual piece of it. The artist John Hallwell used moccasins, and so I can't wait to see the final product, but it speaks to the path, that the walk that we're doing, and that it is ongoing, and it doesn't, we're not going to get there anytime soon, but our intentions, our work, our efforts speak to wanting to do reconciliation and embedding that in our work. So I encourage you to read the messages on the t-shirts. These were the t-shirts that staff wrote messages on for Indigenous communities at last year's National Day for Truth and Reconciliation event. So take a look at it and Chimigwech again, and hopefully you're able to join us on September 24th when we do the unveiling of the crosswalk and the memorial plaque. So thank you and have a wonderful day.